And now, live from Level 5 Productions on the island of Milleronia, it's The Larry Miller Show. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, and everyone who loves Linda Carter. Hi, folks, and welcome back to the Larry Miller Show. I'm Larry Miller, but in a way, aren't we all? And boy, is it ever beautiful here on the mainland. That's right, on the mainland again. We're not out on stately Milleronia Island. And there's, well, a bunch of good reasons for that. One of my kids is graduating from high school in just a few days, and his older brother, corporal in the Marine Corps, is coming up from his base to be with us, and so is my sister from New Jersey, and my wife's sister from, down in Southern California, and everybody really likes everybody. And I had to stop and think about that, by the way. You want to say, wait a minute, no, we don't. But, yeah, we do. And we're going to, go to graduation together and go to, a really nice restaurant afterwards. The Pacific Dining Car Company. Well, again, by the way, they're not a sponsor. I've done this before. All the good people I mentioned should be sponsors of us, by the way. But that's fine for now. So at any rate, we're doing that, and you know what, folks? There's never anything better than something nice and simple and traditional as that. Graduating from high school, good Lord. And you get, the gown and the cap, and when they announce your name, you walk forward across the stage there, and you shake hands with the principal, and he gives you, the diploma. That's about it. I was looking for something fancier, but that's it. But it is nice, and it's going to be in a nice place in downtown Los Angeles, somewhere I don't know exactly where. But our older son graduated from the same school, and when he graduated from high school, and his ceremony was at Disney Hall, which makes me impressed to say it like, whoa, Disney Hall. You know, you wanted to say, did you say Disney Hall? Yes, Disney Hall. And I'll be honest, it was okay. It was just, it was nice because I love my kid, and it was a nice ceremony, a lot of good handshaking and hugging and such. But I don't know about you, but to be honest, when you got to go downtown, wherever you live, if someone says, for the whole ceremony, we're going downtown. Downtown? We have to go downtown? That's not good news for anybody. I don't want to go downtown. You don't want to go downtown. I don't think anybody wants Disney Hall, but, no, frankly, I wasn't that thrilled. I was feeling a little cranky and a little grouchy about it. And, but that's me anyway. That's just a regular day for me, being cranky and grouchy. But in any case, that's one of the reasons that I and Colonel Jeff are on the mainland right now and recording from our studio here at Stately Miller Manor. And again, I feel so wonderful. Oh, it's hot and a little gray here, but that's fine. But every time I play that music, it makes me feel so good, and it makes the Colonel feel so good too. Of course, that's the Zbigniew Brzezinski Orchestra and the Linda Carter Dancers, featuring boy tenor Mike Lucking asking the musical question, I've ignored almost everything they said would surely kill me, so why am I still here? Well, maybe bacon is good for you. And, no, it's not. It's not at all. But it's a good question. Why am I still here? I've ignored everything they said would surely kill me. Why am I still here? Well, you know what? We change our minds on that sort of thing over, from each generation, don't we? Think of all the awful things our parents and grandparents used. I mean, think of on Thanksgiving, every year on Thanksgiving, come on. Every American house was filled with smoke, but I mean filled. You could cut the smoke, well, with a Thanksgiving knife. The table with all the food on it had 7 ashtrays. People who didn't drink drank a gallon each. And then they all drank a ton of coffee to get home, and cheesecake was an appetizer. And those were great Thanksgivings, weren't they? I might have mentioned this before, but in the classic, the very moving painting of Norman Rockwell of the, Thanksgiving dinner, where, Grandpa brings the platter with the turkey on it at the table there, and he's standing up, and Grandma's right behind him, and they're both smiling and looking warm and wonderful, and everyone at the table, oh boy, here we go. But I've mentioned this before, I think, that you look at that table, and it doesn't have a lot on it. I'm just saying, there's an oval-shaped dish with celery and black olives. Now, that's fine. I like celery and black olives, but, I think that was kind of about it. And everyone is excited. Oh, boy, look at that turkey. And, the turkey looks like about an 8-pounder. I'm just saying, it doesn't look like, holy mackerel, look at the size of that bird. But, you know what? Thanksgiving, every American house was filled with people really eating. And that was classic. And then you go to watch a football game in the den afterwards, and it'd take a while to get there because the whole house was filled with smoke. But, you sit down on that couch there, and every man I can remember would unbuckle the pants, the top of the pants, because you just had a gigantic meal for Thanksgiving. And everyone said the same thing. I think every man who sat down on the couch in the den to watch football after the Thanksgiving meal said something like, okay, all right. Oh, come on. And that was a good Thanksgiving. But you know what? Good question, Mike. You ignored everything they said would surely kill me. So why am I still here? Well, maybe those things aren't the worst thing anyway. You don't have to ignore them completely. But every so often, like Thanksgiving or, like on a graduation from high school, it's not so bad to go out and get a good meal and not eat a ton that day. Really go in with a good appetite and have a meal that has at least 4 things in it that all the goody two-shoe people would say, you know what, that's going to kill you. And you could say to them, I understand, but first, I'm going to kill you. Let's see how you like it. But in any case, folks, that's why I'm on the mainland. And it's also worth mentioning that the reason I mention Zbigniew Brzezinski, which I think is pretty close to how it's pronounced, he was the national security advisor in the Jimmy Carter administration. And so that's 2 people right there, Carter and him, I hated. I wasn't that fond of them, but, as Colonel Jeff pointed out, we should mention him. He was the national security advisor. In any case, that's why I mentioned him. And you'll know about Linda Carter in just a minute. And by Amazon and PayPal. That's right, Amazon and PayPal, 2 of the greatest companies and organizations, and I still think I know they are. Amazon does 3 things no other company in America can do. 1, whatever you want, they got it. They send it right to you. And by the way, the 2, they already have it. They've got it. They don't have to send to the company to get it. They don't have to borrow one. They don't have to make it themselves. They already have it. And 3, this is the best part, they send us a percentage of whatever you order. They send it right here to the show, right to, the Larry Miller Show. And we use that money, we save that money here for our next big fancy fried chicken dinner with 2 drinks beforehand in a different place. And, well, that's always a good night. So far, the Colonel and I have preferred fried chicken on those nights. And yes, for the last 2 meals, we have, well, extended our hand with an invitation to Dr. Chris. And he has taken time off from his clog dancing studies at the University of Solvang, which is tough, by the way. He's doing very well at it, but they don't kid around with that stuff. I mean, that's not just clog dancing. So in any case, we might invite him again to the next one. But that's what happens when Amazon sends you that money, and boy, oh boy. And, what you do is, and by the way, here's a good tip. If you're going to get things at Amazon, if you're going to shop at Amazon, if you're going to see what they have, and see if you're interested, what you do, sure, you could just go to Amazon on every computer you have, on your iPhone, whatever you have, but don't do that. What you do is, we'll take you there. You go to our website first, LarryMillerPodcast.com. Who's on the mountain, Tom Mix? That's a pretty good one. So you do that. You go to our website, and you know what? We have a special banner that says Amazon, and you click that banner, and we'll get you there. Click our Amazon banner on our website, and go take a nap. Go lay yourself down in your big lazy boy chair, or even in bed. But if it's in the afternoon, just use the easy chair, and you can make yourself a sandwich with a big cold glass of beer, and turn on whatever game's on, and get in that lazy boy chair. And again, that's someone else who should be a sponsor. They're not a sponsor of us, but I think they make a good product there. I love the word lazy in anything. So in any case, you do that. We'll get you to Amazon. We'll take you there, and then you buy whatever you like. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and Amazon sends us a little bit of dough. We sure do like that. Thanks, Amazon. And by PayPal. And, it's the same operation. We love them. If you work with PayPal, you feel like you're saving the world. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe you are. So if you enjoy my show here, and why wouldn't you? And you'd like to send a few bucks to help out, and why wouldn't you? You can do it through PayPal. And I'm not a big fan of words like donate or pay what you like or join the Platinum Club or something. I just love to say, buy us some drinks, okay? And because there are different levels 1 through 5, all the way up to... We're driving to Florida! Boy, I haven't heard that fella in a while. Yes! In any case, do that. And look for the PayPal banner. They have one too on our website, which remember is LarryMillerPodcast.com. Who's on the mountain, Tom Mix? Oh, I love funny sounds. That tickles me. And again, it's another one of those things. Whoever invented that sound wasn't trying to be funny with it. Whoever the guy was or the woman was who just... which sounds like about a 1920 sound. I don't know why, but maybe it is. But we thank you in advance because you know what, folks? Every little bit helps us keep the old leg lamp lit. And thank you to everyone who's contributed already or is just about to. Thank you, folks. And that brings me to my favorite part of the show, the joke of the week. I love the joke of the week, and I always wanted to do something like this because it's fun to pass along a good joke. If I like it and the Colonel likes it and you like it, well, that means a lot to me. So, in any case, here's a good one, and if you like it, pass it along to someone you care about too. Well, in a comedy club in the heart of the city, maybe even downtown, there's a ventriloquist on stage, and he's doing great. He's got his little dummy on his knee, and the crowd loves it. He's really knocking people dead. And his specialty is he does all dumb blonde jokes. That's what his act is. Everyone he tells, it's all dumb blonde jokes, and everyone he tells, the audience howls. Oh boy, and the laughs get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know what? And eventually, about 10 or 20 minutes into the set, it's all dumb blonde jokes, and a woman stands up in the audience, and she's a blonde, and she says, "You know what? I can't take this anymore. I have to complain. I don't know why everyone's just loving you so much, because you're the one who's causing all the problems. For me, as a blonde, anyone blonde, why would you do something like this? It's just awful. Makes every company awful, every gift they make, every product they have that we should get. You know what? You're the one causing the world to go down just by doing what you're doing here. And you know what? I'll say that, and I'll stand up and say it proudly." And the ventriloquist says, he thinks for a second and just says, he has a change in his heart, and he says to the lady, "You know what, ma'am? The truth is, you're right. I shouldn't be working. I could do other things like this, but I don't have to just tell jokes like that." And she yells back, "Hey, you stay out of this, mister. I'm talking to the little bastard on your knee." Well, the Colonel and I got a good laugh out of that one. So she wasn't the smartest egg in the carton anyway. But if you like that one, pass it along, please, to your friends or family, and tell them where you got it. Get a new fan to come here to the show. And that brings me to my second favorite part of the show, the Poetry Corner. The Poetry Corner. And I love this too, by the way. I always thought about that even as a kid. Someday I'd like to read a poem on the air. And I think that would be a good part of a show. And I think it is today. And anyway, this is from a great poet that I've read from before, George Henry Boker, Boker. He's a 19th century man, and 1821, I can't remember exactly now, and 1821 to 1890, something like that. And this is called, and he was, by the way, very well known. He was a playwright, and he was very well known as a playwright and very successful as a playwright. And in the Civil War, he became very ardent Union supporter. And this poem is called Sonnet 30 by George Henry Boker. When all the labors of the day are past, and on the world exposed and fretted edge of my sad soul, like doves upon the ledge of yonder roof, my cares, with wings closed fast, doze into night, and from the future cast of my dark life I ask no cheering pledge, no growing plume, hope's broken wing to fledge, content, if that dear hour will only last. 'Twere meet that in this respite of the heart some heavenward look, some thankful thought were given to the great hand that out of discord even shapes my brief rest. But stubborn in the part, we ingrates play the thoughts that upward start. Stoop to thy feet and miss the way to heaven. Isn't that lovely? It's a good structure, the sonnet. And very good in the hands of this good man, George Henry Boker. He was a great American, a great author, and he sure had his heart in the right place. And that brings me to my third favorite part of the show. MMM, Triple M, Magic Movie Moment. Oh, the greatest piano note in history. And I think this is a terrific movie to talk about. And again, you'll see how it all comes together anyway. But there's a movie from 2014 I really liked named Lucy. It was written and directed by Luc Besson, or Besson, and we'd have to ask him, but he's not here. Starring Scarlett Johansson, and boy, oh boy, I think the world of her. Just a great actress, and just shatteringly gorgeous. And her and Morgan Freeman, who's, I love the guy. I was about to say, not shatteringly gorgeous to me, but that's all right. Emir Jaked, I think that's how you pronounce it. He was terrific in this. And it's a wonderful movie, folks, that an innocent and naive girl in Taipei, Taiwan, is conned by her boyfriend into, delivering a suitcase with, she doesn't know what's in it. It's some drugs that he's a mean, rotten guy. And he doesn't last long in this movie. But she becomes, it works out that there's a guy who plays a great gangster. This is a big drug situation. The guy comes down from Korea, and he's as evil as she is good. And she eventually, by the way, they kidnap her and three other fellas to have these drugs sewn into their abdomens so they can deliver them into Europe. I don't want to tell you the rest of the plot, but she's put in a cell, and her guard in the cell, I don't know if these guys are smart enough to be attracted to her, but he gets mad and he gets mean and he kicks her in the stomach, and it's part of the bag breaks, and she is overloaded with the drugs that are in this thing. Thousands of times more than the tiny, tiny piece they're supposed to ever give to, say, pregnant women. But she changes. It doesn't kill her. She increasingly becomes so smart and less consciously human. She actually looks like someone losing it as the movie goes on, and she becomes more and more committed to this knowledge she's getting. She seeks out, the professor that played by Morgan Freeman, to tell him that she wants to share this so all the world can be better. And folks, the magic movie moment for me in this, it's a very, very good movie. Please see it sometimes. And but Scarlett, as I said, increasingly becomes so lofty with knowledge that she looks lofty with knowledge. She keeps changing physically. She's not only, gorgeous, it's Scarlett Johansson, but she's such a good actress that she begins getting more and more into the upper regions that no human being has ever been into. 10% of the brain, she's then using 20% of the brain, and we see this happening. 30%, 40%, 50%, and it keeps going up, and she becomes more and more potent and more knowledgeable and more, especially against a lot of the evil folks in it, more and more wonderful and even holy. And you know what? It's a terrific movie, and her changing in this, her acting in this, really sells it for me. Well, I've seen it a lot of times on cable, and every time it's on, I just stay there and I say, I've got to see this again. Now, if you want to be cynical or skeptical, you can say, well, that's just because it's Scarlett Johansson and you're in love with her and you just want to keep looking at her. Well, okay, I won't even bother to say no. But part of that is of what she puts out, the way she is a star, and the lead acting she does. and the way she can look doing it and the way she teaches us in it. Folks, see this sometime. The movie is called Lucy. It's from 2014, written and directed by Luc Besson, starring Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman, and a bunch of other folks. But boy, oh boy, Scarlett sure is good. And she takes us with her as she grows in knowledge. And you know what? It's another reason it's good to remember the things that move me like that. Because just yesterday, was the 73rd anniversary of D-Day. When, well, if you don't know what D-Day was, I'm sorry for you because it's so important. That was on June 6th, 1944, and had been planned for so long by General Eisenhower, who was leading all the forces there, and Field Marshal Montgomery. Oh, so many folks, so many generals and so many colonels and so many majors and so many soldiers. 160,000 men hit the beaches at Normandy. And the colonel and I were just talking about this before. In addition to 160,000 men, which is a lot of men, that's a tremendous number. And plus, after they got there and went through all they did to just win a beachhead and then move up the cliffs, good Lord, and all that equipment they had to take. And we were saying, 73 years ago, they didn't have the equipment we have today. When you think of things being constructed, when you think of things being moved, they didn't have it on June 6th, 1944, and it was just a lot of men carrying things and a lot of horses pulling wagons with things, heavy things, artillery and ammunition and guns and medical supplies, all that equipment. Folks, this was really something. And, by the way, it reminded me, I mentioned this in a different context a couple of years ago on the show, but our friend Amber from the kids' school, and still a close friend of my wife, and her grandfather won a giant medal for being one of the fellows, one of the platoon in the company that had one of the hardest missions on D-Day to go up the cliff and attack a German fortification that was, they were circular and concrete, and they had artillery in them and a lot of machine guns with very high calibers. And folks, that was not an easy job to go up that cliff. We say up the cliff. You know what that means? It means up the cliff, 200 feet up, straight up, with pickaxes and and putting things in and using their hands and feet and using ropes for the others who could come up. Well, folks, they did it, and they got up there, and they lost men, but they got up there, and they attacked and beat them. They won that box, that pillbox, that fortification. They killed all the Nazis in it. And then, as I said to the colonel, that was when, boy, at least you got to lean against that thing and go, whew, whoa, that was an arrival. Well, folks, that and so much more to D-Day, the 73rd anniversary, June 6th, 1944. And by the way, the day before that, June 5th, was the 50th anniversary of the Six-Day War in Israel. Another astonishing event, which with such faith and such bravery. But good Lord, those are a couple of days, the 5th and 6th. Whew. Folks, the things we all do and the things we all read about, and should read about it more, That's one of the reasons. A few days ago on Sunday, I took my graduating senior in high school to the movies. My wife had to go to a Writers Guild meeting. And I said to my son, hey, why don't we go see Wonder Woman? And he said, sounds good. And he was going to a party that night. He's done with school, which is moving my wife and me quite a bit, by the way, because he's going to go to college and somewhere around the middle of August. And boy, oh boy. So he's done with classes. And he loves video games, and he plays them in his bedroom, and, all these games called Kill Everyone. But he's great at it, and he loves the whole world of computer science. But I said, let's go see Wonder Woman. He said, yeah, I think I'd like to do that. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's very good. And I mean very good. That made me very pleased, very happy, because I wanted to see it. Yeah, I could be called a Wonder Woman fan. I mean, it's not the biggest thing in my life, but ever since I was a kid, too, thinking of, well, holy mackerel, Wonder Woman, because she's in the Justice League of America with Superman and Batman and Green Lantern, and Flash is in that, too, right? And, well, he's going so fast, it's hard to tell who it is. But you know what? I loved, and I mean loved, Linda Carter as Wonder Woman in her TV show. And it was not only really well shot and well written, but Linda Carter is a terrific actress. And she used to be, in fact, I was wondering this with, should have looked it up. Please send it to us on the podcast. Didn't Linda Carter also win? Wasn't she Miss America or Miss Universe? And that's a big jump, by the way, to go from America to the universe. But I think Linda Carter was just a terrific actress in that. Plus, shatteringly pretty. I mean, let's just say, oh, come on. Absolutely. I love Linda Carter. And I really wanted this Wonder Woman to be a good movie. In fact, a very good movie. In fact, a very, very good movie. And it is. Stars Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and she's a great Wonder Woman. I'll tell you what, there were bursts of applause in this packed theater every time because it's set in World War I, which is a good idea, by the way, creatively. And the director, Patty Jenkins, tells Wonder Woman's story in a very compelling way. It's got a great cast, and the way she reacts, it starts out on the island of Luscira, or I can't remember the name of it now, but it was built by Zeus. It was created, and it's hidden. You can't just go there. Zeus put a film around it so that it's just in the middle of the ocean there. And it starts. What a cast again! I have to say, Connie Nielsen plays the Queen, who is, by the way, Wonder Woman's mother, but she's not Wonder Woman yet. She's Diana. And there are no men on the island, and just all these shatteringly beautiful women. I know, it sounds like a joke set up going, wait a minute, with no men? Are there planes there? But, I mean, it's really wonderful. And it was very smart casting also. All the young women there are athletes and professional athletes, and they look great in it. And they trained for months, and they bulked up, and they look just right. It's very well done. And Robin Wright plays Antiope, the general there, running all the training and all the young women. Robin Wright is one of the greatest actresses we've ever had. And also, by God, beautiful, beautiful woman. Robin Wright was, by the way, in the Princess Bride. She was the Princess Bride. And a wonderful cast there, too. But I remember seeing that a couple of times and thinking, wow, she's wonderful. And her acting, she was, English and from the English countryside and really upper crust. Well, no, she's not. She's American, but she's that good an actress that just with her acting and her accent, it made you think that, well, she's English. Well, no, she's just a great actress. At any rate, though, it's a wonderful movie. And in World War I, see, Diana knows on that island. She finds out because Chris Pine, who, by the way, is the new Captain Kirk on the Star Trek movies, and he's a terrific actor too. And Chris Pine is in his World War I German uniform. That's right, German uniform. And he's being chased by a bunch of other, well, real German soldiers from World War I on a battleship and in boats. They're chasing him because he's not a German soldier. He's a spy. He's an American, and he was sent by the British in to, well, spy on the Germans, and he did a great job. And they find the island. They go through the film accidentally that Zeus had made. And Chris Pine, well, all the young women, the warriors, and Robin Wright, and everyone tough there, and they're really wonderful at it. And, well, the Germans didn't stand much chance against them. And who would want them to? But you know what? It was so moving, and how it came to be. Folks, I'm telling you that every time Wonder Woman, and she goes with Chris back to Europe, it's World War I, and it's in the middle of the war. And everything she does and everything she discovers, and when she fights, after every fight, folks, there was a burst of applause in the theater. Everyone applauded. And me too. You know, you really want to. You want to go, holy mackerel, and you just, oh boy, look at Wonder Woman go. Well, and she's hunting, by the way, as she knows, because Zeus built their island and made them, but she's hunting Ares, the god of war. And he was the one, he's a bad guy. He's an evil god of war. And you know what? He was the only one who could kill all the other gods in Olympus there. And Diana knows that if she gets to Europe and to this World War I, and she'll find Ares, and she'll kill him. She'll hunt him down and she'll kill him. And that will end the war, and that will end everyone, and no more thousands and millions of lives will be lost. And, well, Chris Pine, and, you know, even though we see that they like each other and they're starting to care for each other, and which is very satisfying. And I'm telling you, though, he doesn't quite, he's trying to tell it, look, there is no Ares, okay? This is the war with this and that. And, well, I don't want to give anything away, but there is, folks, there is an Ares. And Wonder Woman was right. Gal Gadot becomes Wonder Woman and is a terrific one. And as I told you, there are rounds of applause after she kills a lot of Germans. But you know what, folks? I still miss Linda Carter. I know that may sound, oh, come on, let it go, but there's a picture we'll try and put on the website of Linda Carter coming to the premiere, and she and Gal are, well, standing next to each other, smiling, and on premiere night. Well, you know what? I would like them to bring her back for the sequel, because there should be a sequel to this. And as Colonel Jeff said, maybe they could set this one in World War II, which is when Wonder Woman actually was originally created, in World War II. But I think, come on, bring Linda Carter back. This is an come on. You know, make her a queen or an evil something or other. Come on, you know. I don't think she should be evil. She's too wonderful. And show her helping Diana learn something. Show her helping Wonder Woman, and show Wonder Woman just is impressed and moved by her. Show Linda flying and winning and being part of this. Please. I never understood when they don't put folks I really like in the movies again. I'm really glad they brought back Leonard Nimoy to play the older Mr. Spock in one of the new Star Trek movies. But come on, why not William Shatner? Are you all out of your minds? I love William Shatner. Yeah, and I've worked with him a few times, and I love the guy. And come on, he's Captain Kirk. So you're gonna bring back Spock and not bring back Kirk? I don't know how these decisions are made. That's when the Colonel was saying that too. Who knows how these folks work or what they do mentally when they're making these movies? Bring back Shatner for the next Star Trek, please. And for the next Wonder Woman 2, come on. I still miss Linda Carter. And we actually do have, by the way, great female action heroes. Jennifer Lawrence in The Hunger Games. And that's why I talked about Scarlett Johansson. I just love her. She was not only great in Lucy, but everything she does. And think about some of the greatest actresses we have. Jodie Foster, Charlize Theron, in so many action movies. They're great, and we love them. But you know what? Bring back Linda Carter. Please. You know that as much as I do. Because we know the same things. Homer is Homer, and Pluto is a planet. And so remember, folks, as always, if you walked out of bed today and had a job to go to and a home to come back to, and someone there who cares about you folks, the game's over and you've won. And that's still the truest thing I know. Be well, and we'll see you here next time.